Welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Let's talk Doctor Strange 2, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You read from the title, it's smashing the box office, doing really, really well. Cost about $450 odd million worldwide opening weekend, which is fantastic as an opening weekend. It's got a reported budget of $200 million. I'm going to go some way to saying that's quite undershot because this film went back for extensive reshoots. We know about it, and they were quite long. If I remember rightly off the top of my head, it was 6 to 8 weeks of reshoots, which is almost an entire production run, right? Like that's, you know, standard sort of principal photography, 12 weeks. If it's 8 weeks, you're pretty bloody close to it anyway. So I would go some way to say budget's going to be a little bit higher because that's outside of the realms of normal reshooting time, normal reshooting pickups. That's a lot more extensive than that. And you could kind of feel some of that as well through the movie. Now, I've done my personal review of this film. This isn't going to be sitting here talking about that. This is just a news report, as I do for sort of big box office masses, just to kind of engage the market, really, ladies and gents. So here we have it, coming in from Deadline. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness opens to 450 million global. And that actually took 265 million from overseas. So it has done remarkably well. I'm not going to say incredibly well. It's a bloody good opening, and I think that goes some way to saying, you know, the trailers, you know, sold it for a lot of people. I think Sam Raimi's name being attached to it has sold it for a lot of people. So it has done well, not incredibly well, but remarkably well. You know, 450 million is pretty bloody good. So it has blasted past projections. Disney Marvel's Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, I was going to say Doctor Who then, had a spellbinding weekend at the global international box office. It opened in 49 markets offshore. That's pretty good. That's, yeah, it's a pretty universal release. Now, the Benedict Cumberbatch, Elizabeth Olsen starred conjured 265 million for an estimated 450 worldwide. 450 million worldwide debut, which includes, of course, the domestic total. So it did really well domestically. And again, like I say, it's reported to have a $200 million budget. I really don't think that's going to be the case. It had fairly extensive reshoots. The 450 million score is the second biggest global start for a Hollywood movie during the pandemic era. Can we stop saying this now? Can we please? That'd be great. And the fourth ever for the MCU, behind Avengers Endgame. So it's done pretty well. Infinity War and Spider-Man No Way Home. So in like-for-likes, it ranks as the number 6 all-time global MPAA opener. Doctor Strange 2 further sets a new IMAX box office record for May with $33 million worldwide. So it did really well in IMAX. People chose to watch this on, you know, some of the best screens that they could. And that's... you know, IMAX and things like that. A lot of the Marvel movies will be showing on IMAX. Not every movie shows on IMAX, of course. Obviously, you know, theatre depending. Now, that's actually the 5th best worldwide debut for Marvel in IMAX, so it has done well. Internationally, and on a like-for-like basis, the opening weekend of Doctor Strange 2 is only 17% behind Spider-Man No Way Home, 126% above the Batman, so smash the Batman, and 160% over the original Doctor Strange pick. Now, here's kind of my prediction, right? Like, it's opened, and it's opened really strong. I do think it's probably going to fall off a cliff now. And make no mistake, this will be one of the first movies that Marvel has released during the pandemic era that will actually make a significant amount of money. Because I think the likes of Shang-Chi and Black Widow, and I think even the Eternals would have just broke even. And I know people will sort of dispute that. But you know, if you've got a budget of $200 million, you do need to make more than $200 million to break even, because you have to factor in the marketing as well. So generally speaking, you'd have to make more than $400+ million to start breaking even. Because you've got also theatre cuts, which are like 50%, sometimes even more. In some markets, so you've got to account for that as well. So this is one of the first ones which I think will actually end up making money. I think it will make a reasonable amount of money, but I do think it's going to fall off a cliff because word of mouth is very mixed on this film. Now, across the board, Stephen Strange & Co. took #1 bows at several milestones, including the highest opening weekend of the pandemic in Korea at $30 million. Korea leads all offshores, actually, followed by the UK. The UK only took $24.7 million, which I think is surprising. Being in the UK, that does surprise me, because we've been going out to other movies and things like that. But it is summer-ish, like tail end of spring coming into summer now. So it is warm. We've had a relatively warm weekend. People have been out with barbecue. I mean, I myself had a barbecue. Loads of people have been barbecuing, so maybe it's because of that. I don't know. As we reported on Saturday, the Sam Raimi directed installment was coming in ahead of pre-weekend projections, and that's not a huge surprise. Now, they say stratospheric numbers like these. I kind of dispute that. I don't think it's stratospheric. I think it's done remarkably well, not incredibly well. The Korea thing's interesting, though, I think, personally. Now, they say also notable overall is higher priced 3D and PLF showings saw pretty staggering turnout on those levels returned to pre-pandemic times, including the global IMAX. I wasn't aware this... I didn't think this had. Maybe this is just referencing 3D and PLF and sort of other things, but I wasn't aware this had even any form of 3D. But I guess it did, yeah, 3D. Interesting. We don't... 3Ds in the UK, we don't really do a lot of 3D stuff in the UK anymore. Seems to have sort of fallen out of favour. But who knows. So, there you have it. It's done really, really well. Now, they say that there are 2 clear weeks ahead for D-Sitmom before Top Gun Maverick takes flight, giving the movie plenty of runway. Now, obviously, they're talking about Doctor Strange 2 and how long it's going to stand up in theatres and how long it's going to do well for in theatres. They're referencing Top Gun Maverick as a movie that'll knock it off. I don't think Top Gun Maverick is going to be the movie which sort of dethrones Doctor Strange 2 or causes a significant drop-off. I think, personally, Doctor Strange 2 is going to be the movie which causes Doctor Strange 2 to be the biggest drop-off. I think word of mouth will get around there that it's a little bit more mixed to positive. Like, if you think about No Way Home, for instance, it was near universally positive praise. Whereas Doctor Strange 2 is kind of split down the middle. I released my review on Friday, and initially on Friday, loads of comments were coming in incredibly positive, but then as the weekend draws out, you'll get the much more mixed feedback, because obviously the real big fans are the ones which go instantly, and those ones are primed to like and appreciate this movie more so than those that don't view it as a priority. That's just basic logic. So I do think Doctor Strange will be its own fall from grace, I guess, just because word will get out there that it's a little bit more mixed. It's not universally praised. Anyway, if you liked it, no issues. I'm not slating it at all. This is just an analysis of the box office, of course. So if you did enjoy this video, please do hit that thumbs up button. Let me know your thoughts on it, and let me know your hot prediction for what it's going to take. I think it will probably round out about the $700 million mark, which will mean that it has made a reasonable amount of money for Marvel. It's not what they would have wanted, though, with Sam Raimi's name attached to it, and also Doctor Strange and all the individuals that are in it. They would be looking for $1 billion for this, make no mistake. But I think it'll probably hit about $700 million. That's my personal prediction. Drop yours down below. If you want to support the channel, we've got Patreon membership. We've also got some really cool merch, which you can find linked underneath the video via my Teespring store. Cheers, guys. Have a great day. Take care.